On October 14th, 2015, we were playing against Manual High School.
It was, I think, one of our district games, and we were playing Manual, and I was on the bench, I remember that, and then I saw Stephanie, she actually got the ball away from one of the Manual people, which never really happens for a lot of us, because we're bad at soccer, but it's okay. And then all of a sudden she's on the ground, and then I look over, I was like, wait, what just happened? And then someone's like, heard like a scream or something from her, and then we were all like, oh no, she's hurt. And then so people started running on the field, and then I started to cry because I didn't know what to do. We started to wait for a really long time, and I remember sitting in a circle of a lot of my other teammates, and we were just talking like, oh, she'll never play again. She can't play softball for the spring. It's her senior year, and she won't get to do all this stuff. It was kind of sad. I was like, oh no.
And we stayed there on the field with her for over 20 minutes waiting for an ambulance to get there. When they finally did, I think they hit every bump that there was on the way to the hospital. And when they finally got her in there, they looked at her and thought they were crazy for thinking it wasn't very much wrong. We stayed in the hospital. They gave her morphine, everything else, nothing helped. She didn't even change when they gave it to her. Like I said, 6 hours later, they finally put her foot back together after staying that long. And we had a fun time getting her home because she couldn't walk, couldn't go up steps. Finally carried her in a chair through the back door to get her in. And then we spent over a month helping her in and out of bed because she couldn't walk. Her leg had to stay up in the air the whole time. Found out it was broken, and that she had to have screws in it, surgery, everything else.
To the operating room, come down a little bit later, said everything went well, everything's put together. Had to put a plate in her hand, or in her leg there, to take and compensate a crack that was in her bone. Then got up there and gave us instructions of how we had to take care of her. She had to leave her leg up in the air for 6 to 8 weeks, and it had to be totally elevated above her heart, her head, and everything. Well, that took a lot of issues because there was a lot of pain involved in all that. We gave her all of her pain medicines that we could give her. Pain medicines didn't work in the aspect that they thought they would. We finally got her calmed down where she'd get some sleep. She got up there and did that for 6 to 8 weeks, kept going. We go back to the doctor looked at her, said everything's looking well. Everything's starting to heal. They got up there and finally put her in a different cast, and still had to keep her foot elevated every night.
After about the 2.5 months, he said I was pretty much good to go to walk in a boot with help of crutches. And I struggled a lot. I know that it may not seem too bad, but the amount of pain I went through in the 2.5 months I had to stay in my bed, it was horrible. I was so lonely. I wasn't allowed to go see friends or anything. Occasionally my friends came to see me. I got care packages and food, but it was really hard. I was 2 weeks late into softball season by the time I was able to be fully recovered, but I pretty much said it was worth it because I got to finish out my senior year of softball, and that was a large accomplishment for me.